Hello everyone and welcome to Gearhead Entertainment. Today is Sundays with Steve and we are playing the Fall of the Trident Campaign on Ludicrous, level 22, North. So last time we played Odysseus was captured by Circe and Ajax and Arkantos had to go save him. Now we are continuing our search for Gargarensis up in Norway. This level is a little bit tricky, but it's not too bad. My best advice would be don't waste a lot of time. In my playthroughs, you get pressed pretty early and pretty often, but if you can wipe out one or two of the enemy factions, it gets a lot easier. Sorry I didn't get this out last week. I just kind of ran out of time. I had a busy work schedule, but hopefully today's will, hopefully today's will remedy that. I'm trying to keep more on top of things. It just kind of depends on how much I've got available. I've had kind of a busy work schedule, so I'm trying to balance it out here a bit. So one of the things I would recommend is maybe take some time before you play through seriously and scout out the map, see where you want to end up. There are a couple of things you should know. Number one is that there's a lot of Fenris wolves throughout the map. Now, they're not that tough. Like, your heroes can take them out pretty easily, but they are Mythic Age level myth units. So if you just take your Archaic level Hersiers versus them, they're not going to last very long. So take some time, just group everybody up, and then build a town center. You've got a little bit of time to work with. I'm choosing one kind of a little bit more central to the map. In my playtesting, that worked out best. I've played off to the left before. That's not too bad. Wherever you end up, you'll have a decent amount of resources. You just don't want to take too long. But you've certainly got time to group everybody up, even though they just moved to the Heroic Age and we're only in the Archaic Age. Trust me, you got time. So this is the town center I'm going for. It is right near one of the enemy temples, and it's close enough that everybody can work here and not run into too many threats. I wanted to pick something pretty central to Ajax because I found that he was probably the best for taking down these Fenris wolves. There are a lot of them, so Fenris wolves and regular wolves, and I just found that Ajax was probably best at taking them down, so I kind of used him as the gathering point. Arkantos is alright, Chiron is alright, Amanra is, she has a little bit of a harder time. She does a lot with that initial jump, and then after that she's kind of weak. Let's see, let's get everybody grouped up. So we can get hit from the left, and then there's 2 points up top. Obviously it's going to be best to wall those off as soon as possible. Let's also get the villagers working as quickly as possible. But we do have a bit of a starting army, so that's nice. Again, you can see I've got like 5 Hessiers on it. It just doesn't do that much. Ajax walks over and it immediately goes down. Let's go ahead and get Temple going. So the Norse function a little bit different. The Norse gain favor through combat. Okay, we'll hold off on walling that off because I just don't have a ton of gold. So instead of like setting somebody on the Temple to Pray, instead of building a specific building, you just go and fight people, which is pretty nice. It's got advantages and disadvantages. Obviously, you have to be more aggressive if you want favor, but you build favor pretty quickly through combat. So I'm gonna go ahead and save. By the way, my rules to save early and often. But at any rate, so you want to try and be a little bit more aggressive so that you can keep building myth units, but as long as you're doing that, you should have a pretty stable supply of favor coming in. You can also get a slow trickle through building Hessiers. So the more Hessiers you have, the more favor you're going to get. And then depending on the Norse god, you can get more than that. So for example, Loki, his Hessiers, and I think his Berserkers as well, just through fighting, they can train myth units automatically. And it doesn't have to be myth units that you specifically have unlocked. It's just myth units of that age or lower from any Norse god. So that's pretty nice. Each Norse god has kind of their own little gimmick. Thor's probably my favorite because he gets really advanced weapons and armor, but Loki's become a close second. He was honestly pretty overpowered when they first released this game because you could use Ulfsark to create myth units. They don't do as good of a job. Oh, I'm sorry, Berserkers. They changed the name. But you can use the Berserkers to create myth units. They don't do as good of a job as the Hessiers, but they can still do it. And then it was free converting villagers into Berserkers early on. They changed it so it's now half cost, which is still kind of busted. You're saving yourself a lot of gold that way, and food is cheap. So you can just... I built like multiple town centers, or multiple village centers, had them auto-creating villagers, and then I just turned them all into Hessiers. And then you have a mobile army that can build up bases. By the way, that's another thing about the Norse, which I'm sure you've seen in some of the offbeat episodes, but since we're doing campaign and this is sort of an introduction to the Norse now, I'm just going to go over some of the basics. It's the Norse infantry that build things, so you want to make sure, I mean, the villagers and the dwarves can build some things. I guess there's a gap in the wall I didn't know about. They can build some things, but it's not very much. So your infantry is going to be what you use to build things, and that can be really nice. Especially, you can use your army, you can build a forward base, and then on top of that, you can train right at the front line. You don't have to put your villagers at risk. It's really pretty nice. So Norse are great for playing aggressive. Anyway, I haven't been doing anything special this level. I've been kind of rambling about the Norse. I've just got villagers and dwarves auto-queued. So one thing with the Norse you do kind of want... There is a reason to get dwarves. They are much faster at harvesting gold. They're not really that much... They're worse at every other resource, but in gold they do a really good job. Thor's dwarves do a better job at harvesting than most things, than most dwarves, but they're still... not as good as a villager, not as good as a gatherer. So you do want to split. You just want to make sure that the dwarves are on gold and everybody else is on food and wood. But anyway, I've just been kind of auto-queuing, trying to train villagers as I go. The Norse probably need the fewest out of all of them because the villagers don't build anything. They don't worship to gain favor. They just kind of gather. So, you don't need nearly as many as I do. I mean, at least 20 less from what I normally do. Which can be nice. It saves you a lot of command points, which is good because I have not built another house. I'm only just now starting to build up something to train units. I may be a little bit late. I'm going to use the axe throwers. Since they're not heroes and I'm being attacked by myth units, I'm going to use the axe throwers to build a longhouse. That's where we're going to train the majority of our infantry. But I'm only just now starting to recruit things. The initial army is enough to keep you going for a while, at least until you've kind of stabilized and gotten a good amount of resources. There's a lot of wood. There's not as much food. There's not as much gold. For crying out loud. Okay. Do bear in mind if you build here, I guess there's a little gap that somehow they're getting through. So just make sure that you wall it off properly. But at any rate, there's not as much gold, there's not as much food available. You can still build farms, but the wood is going to be what you're primarily using the most. So I would recommend a lot of axe throws. Hessiers are good if you can get them. We can also build Godi now, which is something you didn't used to be able to build in the original campaign. They are ranged heroes, so they cost wood and gold as opposed to food and gold. And they can still build things, but they're ranged, so they can throw spears and stuff. And I do like them. They're a very nice addition to the Norse factions. But you kind of want an even split of villagers and axe throwers, and then if you're going to put anything into myth units, trolls are a really good way to go. So we had options here as Thor. I went ahead, I believe you get a choice between... who did I just pick? Forseti. You get a choice between Forseti and Freya. I don't get as much out of cavalry, so I didn't go Freya. And also Forest Fire isn't... I never thought Forest Fire was that useful of a god power. It is very, very situational. Go ahead and save whenever you're feeling steady, by the way, and I do feel like I'm in a good spot. But healing well... honestly, it's not as useful as it used to be because you have more things that can heal you, but it is really powerful to have a healing spring. And also, Forseti benefits your infantry. I'm sorry, I'm having for whatever reason, I'm a bit tongue-tied today. So I went with Forseti. His trolls are... They're a little bit, I don't know, they're probably a little bit worse than the Valkyrie in my opinion. The Valkyrie are very good myth units, and they do heal you, so if you didn't want Forseti's Healing Spring, you could just get a bunch of Valkyrie. But the Trolls do area damage, and they do range damage, so they're pretty good. They're also, you can build them with wood and favor, so we have a lot of wood available, so that's just another reason to choose Forseti here. Let's see here. I need to be able to build an armory and deal with these guys. Once we deal with these guys, there's a temple to the right, and I want to deal with that. I'm going to go ahead and go Scotty. I normally don't go with Scotty. I normally go with Braggy if I have the choice between the two. Flaming Weapons is very powerful, and shoot, how am I forgetting? I keep wanting to say Ulfsarks. They're not Ulfsarks anymore. The Berserkers benefit from Braggy's upgrades, but the Frozen Units ability is going to be useful, and honestly, the Ice Giants are going to be useful. So I'm going to change things up a bit. Normally, when I kind of advance, I like to try and play to my strength. That's a good practice. You know, that's good in general to just play to your strengths. But every now and then, there's a reason to mix it up, and this is one of those reasons. Just having access to Frost, having access to Frost Giants, that's going to be useful. At any rate, though, once we stabilize a bit, once we advance, I'm going to try and take out the temple to our right. It's probably easiest to come at it from behind. There's fewer fortifications, and the fortress is closer to that gate. Also, you can see I'm already out of huntables, so it's time to switch to farms. Let's build things up. Frost Giants are incredibly useful. If you get a ton of them, it's very hard to beat them because they all use their Frost ability. If you can micro them, it's even better because you can choose when they use it. But they all use their Frost ability, and they immobilize a unit while you attack them. And unlike the Frost God Power that we got, it does last longer, but it immobilizes them and gives them an armor buff, like a massive armor buff. The normal Frost Giants don't give that armor buff, so we can do a lot more damage. Let's go ahead and get a few of those. I've got the gold to spare for it. Probably heavy infantry is more important than the copper weapons. I'd like to get both. You know, obviously you want as many of these upgrades as you can get, but I think heavy infantry is more important. One advantage also with Thor, so we have a different kind of armor. We have a Dwarven Forge, and the advantage of the Dwarven Forge, no, please stop that. Let's kill that. Let's kill that wolf real quick. That Fenris wolf. Let's kill that real quick. The Dwarven Forge can get all of the upgrades from the Archaic Age, like post-Mythic Age upgrades from the Archaic Age. So it's very helpful. I just don't have the resources for it, so we're going to focus more on the heavier infantry than on the upgrades. I mean, obviously the upgrades are important, but it's not as important. Also, if you're wondering why I have dwarves now, it's because there's a change with Retold. Now Thor gets an extra dwarf for every armory upgrade that you research, which isn't like... Honestly, it's kind of not that helpful. By the time you're getting your armory upgrades, you don't need dwarves anymore. So I just convert them into Ulfsarks, which is something else you can do, which is, I mean, it was always kind of a weird thing. It's like, okay, I've got this half-sized person, and I'm going to convert him into an Ulfsark, and he's going to be a a Berserker, and he's going to be a full-sized unit. It never made a ton of sense, but, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so we got Giants coming in. I'm going to use these Berserkers to slow them down a bit, just until I can deal with this attack up north. Bring them back to this side. You can tell my walls are taking a beating, but I'm just going to try and keep them up. They're there to buy time. There's two reasons to build a wall. One's to funnel the enemy, the other is to buy time. And most of the campaign, I've been using them to buy time. Funneling them is important when buying time doesn't really work. Sometimes they just hit you with so much that the walls crumble, and then it's important to funnel them so you pick where they attack. But sometimes you've got enough units, you've got enough time, you can maintain your walls. So this is one of them. I'm going to go ahead and get some rams. Those are going to be our siege engines. I think we are locked to the heroic age, so we're not getting any ballistas, but the rams are pretty effective. 4 to 5 of them should do the trick. Once I've got those rams, we're going to try and take down a temple. You don't have to take down anything else, just the temple. I may try and drop a fortress. It depends on how my army is doing. I don't want to take a whole lot of heavy losses. We are to the point, so I'm about 25 minutes in. Now I have been playing a little bit sped up, but about this point, we are to the point where I need to be able to wipe out one of the enemy bases, or I'm going to get overwhelmed. So that's why I'm getting these rams out, and the base that's right next to me is probably the best choice. I did not pick this spot with the thought in mind that there's a temple right there. I picked it because it's pretty central to all my units, but it is actually kind of a happy accident, and it seems like bad positioning to place your base right next to the enemy base, but in this case, it actually is incredibly helpful because we're going to be able to wipe out their temple very quickly and pull our troops back to stabilize. See, they're playing as Loki. You can see they've attacked my units enough that they were able to spawn in another giant. So he just spawned in automatically. There's kind of like there's a meter that builds. It's an unlisted meter that builds, and as it builds, as you get enough favor, you can create a myth unit. And it's just kind of random which one it picks. Okay, I was not planning on dealing with these giants. Let's move the rams in. Just ignore all the enemy units. We're going to have the rams attack that temple. They should be able to drop it fast enough. Even with the giant there, I think, yeah, see, I think we're even going to get this, this hill fort. I didn't even have my whole army over here. I was going to bring them over here, but they kind of just didn't get here in time. It's probably for the best. That means that they're there in case I need to defend myself. Yeah, let's pull everybody back. And don't bother with anything else. Now that we've dropped that temple, I'm going to go ahead and say, you do you. But this is, if I have to restart, I'd rather restart from here. Let's see here. And so here's the advanced weapons. We get meteoric iron armor, we get weapons of the gods, and we get dragon scale shields. And it's just like, it's an even bigger advantage over everyone else. So Thor's army are going to be tougher than anybody else in Mythic Age, just because we get those extra armory upgrades. The only ones that might be able to compete now are the Japanese. I forget which one. I think it's probably Susanoo, because they get beyond champion units in the Mythic Age if you hit a certain Bushido level, but you have to hit that Bushido level, whereas I can unlock, if I'm fast and if I have time to work, I can unlock the dragon scale stuff, the meteoric iron, and weapons of the gods. I can unlock that in the Archaic Age, and if you, honestly, if you have the economy to be able to unlock that stuff early on, like if you've got bronze weapons in the Classical Age, you're going to have a massive edge. The Norse really are geared to being more aggressive, which is unfortunate because I'm geared to turtling, but if you've got the army, you can push early and often, and it's going to be really hard for people to stop you. Honestly, Norse do kind of taper off in the late game. Thor handles a little bit better because of his weapons, and their myth units are pretty strong, but their armies aren't as impressive. Their defenses are not as impressive late game, but man, early to mid game they dominate. Let's see. Again, things are going well. I'm just a little paranoid, that's all. This level is kind of tedious. Okay. So I've got these two other temples. Now, for this other one, ooh, yay. Saved right in time for giants to attack. Wonderful. Let's go deal with these guys. My Hessiers, now that they're heroic age, are actually doing decent damage. It doesn't matter who you are in Classical Age, you're not doing much. Okay, let's kill these guys. This is just a small strike force, but I think we actually can get a lot done with it. I'm going to need to get a lot done because I'm running out of gold mines that I can invoke. They're just costing too much favor. But, anyway, hug the right side. If you just hug the right side, you might come across a couple of wolves you have to kill. It's not going to be a big deal. You can work your way through the trees, circumvent. Like, if their army's coming in, you're going to ignore them by going this way. I was wrong. It's more than a couple of wolves, but we're going to make quick work of them. That wouldn't be a bad relic to pick up, but I'm not going to focus too hard on it. Relics are nice, but I've never found a relic that is like a game changer. Okay, normally they ignore you here. They did not choose to ignore me right now. That's unfortunate. It's alright. That's alright. I'm going to train a reserve army, and then the army that I have... Let's see, let's get some trolls. Trolls are actually pretty good. The heavy rock that they throw is really nice. This bigger army should be able to plow through whatever they've got coming my way. I've never found a relic that actually changes the game. So there's one exception. There's one level of the Titans campaign where you can get the Bridle of Pegasus, and I will be getting the Bridle of Pegasus because it makes the level way easier. But, like I said, in general, I've never really found a relic that's a total game changer, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Alright, so you can circumvent most of the troops by going this way. As soon as we tear through these defenses, Red has the best defenses out of anybody. I'm going to freeze their army. I don't want to deal with their army. I want to deal with their walls. The walls are going to be my best way in, and I am selecting the wrong army, so that's wonderful. I don't want to deal with their army. I just want to cut right through their walls and go to their temple, because they're the best defended out of all of them, and if I can quickly go in and drop this temple before they can do anything, then I don't really have to worry about them anymore. It's going to be close, but we'll see what happens. It is going to be close. Ajax, can you get the job done? I think he can. Alright, and now we're getting hit by giants, by orange, so let's bring these guys down. Come on, he's almost... Yeah! 3 out of 3. Okay. So our heroes can die here, and it really doesn't matter. It might be nice to retrieve them at some point, but I don't need them anymore. Orange is not that well defended. I can get a small army. I can press orange right now. I'm going to go ahead and save. Just because, again, I've dropped a temple. I don't want to have to restart things, but let's grab these trolls. A couple of rams. And we're just going to full send it. All you got to do is drop a... you just have to drop all 3 temples. You don't have to wipe out everything. You honestly, you can ignore their armies a lot of the time. You just have to get the temples down. And your heroes don't have to survive either. So we're going to make this work. Should be a cinch. I appreciate you guys watching. I was talking with my brother most of the day, earlier today, and most people don't really watch strategy game tutorials. There's like 3 reasons you watch it. One is that you're trying to get competitive in multiplayer, and I don't really play multiplayer that much. I'm certainly not competitive per se. I think I do all right for myself, but it's just, I don't have a huge interest in it. If I'm with my friends or my buddies, then occasionally, yeah, but most of the time I'm not huge on it. It's okay. The other reasons that you might play, and that you might watch something like this is either you're stuck, in which case hopefully I can help, or you're like, oh, okay, how did somebody else solve this? I did it myself. I want to see how somebody else did it. And there's just not as huge of a market for it. So I do appreciate anybody who's over here and who is playing the game. And who's watching me play it. I appreciate it. If you guys have any recommendations, I am looking to get better. So if you have something where it's like, man, I wish this guy would shut up more, or I wish he'd stay more focused. If you have anything like that, let me know. I am trying to improve things, and I like to hear feedback. I know Dean's gotten a little bit of feedback. I was talking to him earlier today too. He and his buddies have been, I say his buddies, I know them all, they're nice people, and we hang out. But the guys who have been doing the Ethereal Archipelago campaign for D&D, they've been putting out a lot of just shorts, illustrated shorts about their campaign. And I guess they got some negative comments online. I'm not going to be one of those people like, oh, don't make negative comments. Oh, don't be nice. And that's a little cringe. I'm not here to say anything about that. People don't like AI. I get it. I know they were using it just as kind of a fun thing. Just kind of like, hey, this is fun. We got our fun little adventure. Let's see what it would look like. Maybe that was kind of their thought. I'm gonna drop Frost here. I don't want to deal with their army. I guess there was some backlash about it. I get it. People don't like AI. It's kind of there are some uses for it, but there's a lot of drawbacks, and so I get the people who are just like, hey, we don't like it, we don't like what it's doing. So I get that. I know there wasn't any real malintent. It wasn't like anybody was like, yeah, let's use AI so we can get rid of human creators or anything like that. It was just like a fun thing they were doing. Hopefully they find some way to get it illustrated without AI, because I think that would be fun. But it's fickle what people like and what they don't. Again, I get the AI one, though I don't use it in any of my videos, and I understand why other people are hesitant to use it. Well, at any rate, that's today's video. So this is actually a relatively easy level. Go ahead and like and subscribe. I will see you guys next time.